Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday here on the Hoops Hour. It's 4:30. It's a new time. We're here. We're ready to go. Ready to talk some college basketball. Hope you all are having a great Wednesday evening. We are doing this show a bit earlier, and I'm happy for it. My nights are very busy now. I have a lot going on, so it's nice to move this show up to 4:30 and get it kind of out of the way. Gives you a couple more minutes to get bets in as well. I do like to get kind of games in around this time anyway, or earlier. So the 4:30 time slot is a very nice one as well. Plus, good point, Chris Wilson. Little West Coast lunch break as well. Good work. Hopefully you can join me every day at this time, and we can all hopefully make some money. Yes, it was a very nice night last night. I got a job done on my premium play. Had Nevada minus the points. They had a wall-to-wall winner with the UNLV Rebels. Give out Lipscomb here in the show. We talked about Texas. We talked about all sorts of games last night. It was a pretty nice night for us. What else do we have? Throughout Dayton, they got the job done. UNC got the job done. What else did we talk about? We talked about whiskey. I said I'd take the points. Gun in my head. I had to play that one. It was a pretty good night overall. So, we'll turn the page and hopefully move on to this card. I will throw out a free play of the day. My bet is already in. I sent it out last night. My premium play of the day. If you'd like to get in on my premium plays, all you have to do is go to rightwager.com. You can register and you can sign up and get my plays. They'll come through the website and you can get them anytime. I'm on a very nice run in college basketball. So if you wish to jump on, now is the time. Started at 0-9 on the season. Since then, I've gone 30-19, I believe. So it's really been a nice run. So if you wish to get involved, you can. Let's get into some games here. Someone talked about Albany quickly. I'll throw that one quickly. They should get the job done tonight against New Hampshire. But this isn't a great Albany team. I mean, this is not one of the teams that won this conference years ago. This is not that team. But New Hampshire are terrible. So whoever asked about Albany, I like it. I don't love it. We'll throw out a pick more towards the end of the show. So you have to stick around if you have a game. I'm not going to go through every game, so I'll try to get to all these if I can. But Albany's not very good either. So that's what you have to understand, Logan. James, Isaac, Logan, Corey, Barham, Trenton, AB Sports, Corey, Sam, Shadow, Jake, Christopher, Troy, Trenton, Jesse, David, John, Fernando, King Op, Salty Dog, Melvin, David, Sunil, Jordan Parnes, Mike Butler, Matt, Lawrence, some Jay, Ninja, Sean, Brett, Chris, Chino, welcome in. Brian, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Guys, also stay warm. I know it's cold in a lot of the country right now, very cold, and it's dangerous. Dangerously cold. You got to worry about it now. This is dangerous cold. This is stuff that can kill you. Make sure you're taking the proper precautions. You see someone outside waiting. You see a dog outside. Make sure you're dealing with that. Thank you, Lawrence. Appreciate that. Yes, it is. That is a good point. It is global warming. Let's get into some games here. I'll tell you a game that I like tonight. Virginia Tech on the road at Miami. I like Virginia Tech here. The line's moving the right way. I think Virginia Tech's kind of a time bomb, and I think they're a team that's going to start really putting some games together here and going on a nice little run. They've lost 2 of 4, but I don't think we could take a lot away from them. They have 3 losses on the year, and 2 of them are to Virginia and North Carolina, both of those top 10 teams. I don't think there's any any issue in that. You look at the rest of their games, though. I mean, most of the time they're going in, and when they win, they're winning by wide margins. This Miami team's playing poorly right now. They've lost 6 of 7. They're really struggling. And you look at overall, I mean, none of these games have really even been close. I mean, you got crushed by Florida State. You got crushed by Syracuse. You got beat up by Carolina. You got beat up by Louisville. You lost to NC State by 5. This is also a team that's lost to Penn, Yale, Rutgers, Seton Hall. Miami, not a good basketball team. They're just not. You look at Virginia Tech. I mean, what a great team. What a great team. Justin Robinson's been terrific. They are the number 2 3-point offense in the country, 42.4%. You got a Miami team coming in that has struggled at times defensively. This is not one of those terrific Miami teams defensively. This game should be a pretty fun to watch. I mean, not going to be a lot of fouls in this game. Both these teams very good at not fouling. Should be a fun, fluid game to watch. But I wonder. This is a big step up. I think Virginia Tech's a much better team. I think they go on the road and win this one by double digits, kind of like Michigan last night. I think they go and just get the job done here. So I kind of like Va Tech here in this game. I talked about Iowa State. I think the first half, Iowa State looks real good in this game against West Virginia. West Virginia coming in without Beto Bolden. He's not going to play in this game. Konate's still out. And you look for a team that has trouble scoring as it is. You take Beto Bolden away. You take Beto Bolden and Konate, who's been out. 2 of your top 3 scorers are out. And you do not want to go on the road to Ames, a tough place to play, without your point guard. This is a great spot to take Iowa State in the first half against West Virginia. I have no doubt in my mind they're not up by 8 or more points at half. I like Iowa State in the first half against West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads. There you go. So they're going to not be singing that tonight. That was awful. Okay, well, I don't think it was awful. I actually got a lot of good calls from that last night, and I think it was quite good actually. So thank you, AB Schwartz. I mean, you actually thought that was bad? A lot of people liked it. I did it last night, and people liked it. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it. The Drake line looks good. Yeah, it looks good now. And the 7.5 was a weird number. I mean, I think that was really a number put out where this is we don't want Drake money, so we're just going to put out 7.5. I think at this point it's maybe a buy on. I mean, it's down to 4 at Pinnacle. So yeah, a big move down. I think a lot of it's just Illinois State money, and that number was too high. It was a bad number. Illinois State is a pretty solid team. You just never wonder what you're going to get with them. Sometimes they play really lazy, kind of lacking. Yes. Thank you, Barham. Appreciate that. Thank you to your wife. I know, AB. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, listen, I for anyone that doesn't know, I did used to sing when I was younger. I took voice lessons and stuff like that. I'm actually pretty good with a lot of R&B, like R. Kelly and Trey Songs and people like that. So maybe someday I'll sing. I will sing for my wife one day at our wedding. So yeah, guys, do bear with me 1 second. I know this is unprofessional, but I'm going to take 1 minute. I have to take this call. Should All right, guys. My apologies. Was waiting for that call and had to answer. So, all right, let's get back to the games here. Mike Butler's on season 5 of The Wire. All right, good. You're almost done. Yes, I muted you. I'm not gonna have someone else's call um, going through the speakers there. Everyone's audio is out. I made your audio go out. It's not everybody's computer. How do you get your plays? You go to rightwager.com. Thank you. Let's keep it moving here. We're kind of just going down the card. I'm just kind of going over some games that I would look at. A lot of games here. Loyola Chicago. I've had some success with them. I'm interested to see how they bounce back tonight. They should kill Northern Iowa, but I just don't feel right betting on Loyola Illinois without Lucas Williamson. He's their best defender. Losing a guy like that really hurts. And now we're laying double digits here. So, that's an interesting spot. That's a game I'm kind of looking at from afar, and I'm going to see how we do there. Campbell, Radford, interesting game here. I think Radford's starting to look like a buy-on spot. They're at 7 at this point, 7.5. This team has won 9 in a row. They're playing some great basketball under Mike Jones. A really good team. Beat Texas in their out-of-conference, beat Notre Dame, beat Illinois, Chicago, beat William and Mary. This is a good basketball team, Radford. They shouldn't have a ton of trouble with Campbell tonight. If you could just kind of get Chris Clemens figured out, you will beat Campbell. I think if I'm getting 11, maybe I'd like Campbell double digits. But at 7.5, I think you're starting to see some real value on Radford at home here. Radford, terrific on offense, do a real nice job from 3, 40% from 3. And you look at Campbell. I mean, this team is allowing opponents to shoot 38% from 3. They are god awful on the defensive end. And look, this could turn into maybe a more higher scoring game. I think a lot of people think Radford's like this great defensive team, but they can be got. Chris Clemens can keep you in a game single-handedly. I've talked about it. The keys to staying in games like this, not turning it over, and making shots. 2 things that Campbell can do. I'm just not getting enough points here. If I was getting 10, 11, maybe I'd be interested. I have no thoughts on Hampton Longwood. I'm not a huge Big South guy. I really just talked about this game because I think it's a fascinating one. Thoughts on Memphis, Tulsa. Interesting. Tulsa's actually a really hard-nosed team. They play real well. I actually am quite impressed by them. I'll tell you what, I think the over has some value here. You look at both these teams, play up tempo. I mean, I saw Memphis live. They go really fast. I think this could be a sneaky over of the night. It's not really sneaky because the total is, 155.5, but this is a very guard-oriented game. This is a game where both teams want to get to the line at a very high level. Both teams do a nice job at the line. I think the over has some real value here in this game. I don't think there's going to be a ton of defense played here. I think it's going to be a very guard-oriented, 83-81, something like that. Memphis loves to push the tempo, and Tulsa lives in the lane. So, I think this game will kind of shake out a lot like Memphis Temple shook out, to be honest. I think the over has some value in this one. What's up, Michael? What's up, Dylan, Chino, Lamont? Thanks for checking us out. We will get to a play of the day in a little bit. Anything on LaSalle? I don't like LaSalle tonight. I don't like LaSalle at any level. Does Stony Brook bounce back? I think they do. But UMBC, they crushed Vermont a couple weeks ago. I would think that UMBC would have some trouble here. Stony Brook's a solid team. A team that obviously had to kind of lick their wounds a little bit the other night against that same Vermont team. But now it's time to wipe off your tears and get back at it. They are the away team here. In a pick'em, they should be able to get the job done. I'm not crazy about the spot, though. Villanova always played DePaul close. I don't think they will this year, though. DePaul is a solid team, but this number's too low. Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Lamont. Appreciate it. No, I'm not tweeting out my play of the day. I want people to listen to this show. That's why I don't tweet it out. Thoughts on the Orange? Yes, this is a must-win. You have to win tonight against Boston College. It will be tough, though. I mean, Boston College can shoot over that zone. But this is the season, I think. They have to win it. You can't lose, a game against Boston College. You just can't. It's going to be a scrap, though. Syracuse, to me, is one of the more disappointing teams in the country. I thought they'd be a lot better this season. And again, I mean, they can still be good, but again, I think they've been pretty disappointing. LSU, Texas A&M. LSU's playing some great basketball. They're a team that I think maybe people are starting to look at and say, oh, maybe this team can make a run. Naz Reid is fantastic. You look at what Tremont Waters been able to do there. They're also well coached. St. John's, they're pretty desperate for one tonight as well. But I'm starting to read some things out of St. John's, and I'm not really liking. I think there's some real chemistry issues with this team. You got a big game on deck against Duke. I mean, this stretch coming up is pretty tough. It's daunting, let's say. You got to go out to Omaha. Then you got Duke tonight or over the weekend. Is this team excited? Sure, but are you looking ahead a little bit? I hate those out-of-conference spots, but it's Duke. It's the Garden. It's there's a lot of lure there. Now you got to go out to Omaha and play in a tough spot. They need this game. I think they really, really need this game if you're St. John's. The way Creighton defend, I've really never any interest in laying points with them. The over's a bit too high as well. I kind of like St. John's. I think they get the job done here. I kind of like them, kind of like I liked Texas last night. I think they find a way. Are we going to hear some R. Kelly later? Maybe someday. Not today. Thank you, Mike. Hey, Comic Ricky, what's happening? Did I talk about the Marquette game yet? No, I didn't, but I will now. Marquette tonight. Last night they were 3.5. It's down to 2.5, and that makes total sense. 3.5 was a dumb line. Didn't make any sense. And bettors quickly figured that out and moved it down to 2.5. This is a tough test. In general, thought this is not generally a good game for Marquette, but this is a different Marquette team, and this is also a different Butler team. They haven't won in Butler for a long time. But again, we need to remember these are two different teams. These are not those type of teams. There's a lot of things that you like from a Marquette perspective here. I think they have a big advantage on defense, particularly at the rebounding spot. This Butler team is not a particularly strong defensive rebounding or offensive rebounding team. They're also a team that has a little trouble defending, frankly. I don't love Butler. I don't think they do anything notable from a squad that's ranked quite high as far as, let's say, top 100. They're not particularly good inside. They don't defend the three well. They don't have a ton of height. There's really nothing they do at a high level on defense. And I think from an offensive perspective, I'm concerned tonight about Butler's ability to make shots outside of Kamar Baldwin. Sean McDermott, their best three-point shooter, is questionable tonight. I just don't think this is a great matchup for Butler. In fact, I think it's a terrible matchup for Butler. I think Marquette has a big-time advantage at the guard position with Howard. I think the bigs down low with John and Morrow and the Hauser kids, I think they're tough matchups here. And look, I got to tell you, to me, I've soured on Butler when Chris Holtmann left. I just don't think Lavelle Jordan's that great a coach. I think Butler is solid, but they don't do much for me. They just don't. I don't think this is a vintage Butler team. Is it a tough place to go and play? Yeah, sure it is. And I'm not going to ever say it isn't. But I just look at this game from a schematic standpoint, and I think spot-wise it's fine for Marquette. They don't have any look-ahead game here. and you're getting points here. I just don't think it's a good matchup at all for Butler. Marquette, they don't play again until the 5th, so they got some time off here. That's another nice spot I like when you're a team like Marquette. This is a great spot for Wojciechowski to say, listen, guys, we have 3 losses on the year. We've won 8 in a row. Let's fucking take care of business, and we get a fucking 6 days off. And then we take that stretch and we fucking get it done. This is a great spot for Marquette, and it works from a schematic perspective. People ask me, why are they getting points then? Because Butler's a tough place to play. And I still think the general opinion is that people don't believe in Marquette. People think of Butler, they think of that home court advantage, they think of, everything. I think on a neutral court, I don't think this line, I think this line is probably Marquette slight favorite. And you're not even getting 3 total points for home court. I think the line is fair. Let's keep it moving here. Let's go through a couple of comments here. Thank you, viral video. Appreciate that. Jordan Tucker's the difference. Okay. Well, I don't agree with that, but yeah, good luck, man. I hope you hit. Hinkle's a very tough place to play. Yeah, I won't disagree with you. But again, St. John's went in there and won. Creighton's went in there and won. Hell, UC Irvine went in there and won. Or UC Irvine went in there and played pretty well against them. I'm sorry, Butler won those games. My fault. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Villanova went in and beat them, which is generally unheard of. Georgetown went in and beat them. So it's not, again, those are different Butler teams. So that's kind of all I'm saying. Thank you, Lamont. What's up, Juan? What's up, Dennis? A lot of people, everyone's on Marquette. Okay, well, do what you got to do. It's up to you. I'm just, people ask me about it, and I'm taking it. Yeah, Moneyline's not a bad play either, Lamont. Yeah, Seton Hall needs a win tonight. They need to kind of stem the tide a little bit. They've not played well, Seton Hall. They're not defending well. They got a home game here, though. It's time to kind of right the wrongs here. This team's lost 5 of 6. Seton Hall's struggling. Need to fix it up. Need to figure it out. Providence is there for the taking. You should be able to beat Providence. They need to figure it out, Seton Hall. South Dakota State doesn't play tonight. What do I think about Kansas? They don't play tonight either. UAB should go in and destroy Middle Tennessee State. Who does? You're talking. You guys are. I think you guys are looking into some of this stuff a little too much. Virginia Tech plays NC State. That's not a. I don't think that's a look ahead game. NC State is overrated. It's not Duke or Virginia or UNC. That's not a look ahead game. Virginia would be a look ahead game. I don't think NC State is. Thank you, D Nizzle. I like UAB. I think anytime Middle Tennessee plays, I'm looking to fade them. Yeah, I like that. All right, guys. Let's. I'm going to throw out a play of the day for you here. If you wish to jump on board, I'd like to have you. If you don't, that's your prerogative as well. I'm going to go with Lehigh -4.5 against Lafayette. 4.5 is widely available. Game starts at 8:30. Lehigh is on the road, but I like them tonight. I'm going to go with Lehigh -4.5 against Lafayette. You look at these teams. Lehigh is the #1 team in the country from the three-point line. They're 5th in the country in effective field goal and 77% from the field. They've improved on defense. They're not a great defensive team, but they've improved. Here's the truth of the matter. Lafayette is 11th from the bottom in the country against the three. They can't defend the three. They're complete shit against the three. Lafayette stinks. It's just that simple. They have no home court advantage. They're a terrible team. They have 5 wins on the year, and one of them is to a non-Division I team. Lehigh is going to go in, and they're going to get the job done because Lehigh is a good team, and they're one of the best teams in this conference. And Lance Tejada is terrific, and Lou Froy is terrific, and Pat Andrews is terrific. Get on Lehigh. They're going to win this game. They're going to take care of business. They have a lot of continuity from a team perspective. They're going to go in and get the job done here. I know they only won the first game, 86-83, but I think their comments lately have talked about, I think they're getting there on defense. They're not great on defense. They're getting there. That game was the day after July 1st or January 1st, the day after New Year's. I think they're going to have a real ability here to win this one by double digits. They're playing some good basketball. They've won 3 of 4. I like Lehigh -4.5 against Lafayette. Good point. It is a rivalry game. Is this the single best game on the card? No. My premium play is. But outside of that, I like this one. People ask about Minnesota, Illinois. That should be a good game, actually. I think both those teams should be able to score a ton of points. Some total seems a bit low in that game. 149 seems a bit low. Illinois goes very quick. Minnesota's scoring's been up. I think those teams kind of run up and down. Minnesota is in revenge in that game. They were crushed a couple weeks ago against Illinois. Yeah, guys, listen. Are you not Gambler John? Are you listening? Any stats? I just gave you stats. I just told you they're the best 3-point shooting team in the country. I'm just giving you stats. I mean, yeah, Melvin, that was a premium play. Got in the first half. Utah State, San Jose. That's a tough one. It's a lot of points to land conference. Is there a package for only your picks? No, but just bet mine then if that's what you want to do. Yeah, Indiana has to win too. I mean, what a desperate team. That seems like a great under game. Under 135.5. Rutgers can't score. They play great defense. Indiana can't score. They play pretty good defense. I like the under. Villanova, DePaul, talked about it already. Lean Villanova. Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. And then, guys, we're going to wrap it up. I'm trying to keep this show to about 30, 40 minutes. I don't want to be on here for an hour. I do a show directly before this for an hour. So I would like to keep this to about a half an hour. Fort Wayne. Yeah, Fort Wayne's great. Love them. Great 3-point shooting team. Always well coached under John Kaufman too. South Dakota, it's a far cry from where they once were. Well coached with Craig Smith, had Matt Mooney. I mean, now it's just a shit show up in that area. Very cold. This would be a cold game. Luckily, it's not outside. Washington USC late night. That's an interesting one. USC might be time to get rid of Andy Enfield. I've been saying that for a while. I'm not sure why he's still the coach there. This team has been total shit. Total shit. I mean, it's just been hard to watch. I'm not sure why he's still the coach. But they have actually played pretty well. They've won 3 in a row. They're starting to kind of play some defense. They're starting to score. They sweep the Arizona schools, which is always fun. But they're off 3 straight home games. And they're off 7 of 9 at home. Now you got to go on the road up to the toughest team in the league, who plays a lot of zone. I don't know. I kind of lean Washington here. I think this is where the wheels fall for USC. Thank you, Mike. I already talked about that, Robbie. I said yes. I like St. John's. Your play of the day is George Washington. Yeah, they would never be a play of the day to me. Sorry. I just don't think they're any better than Fordham, to be honest. Yeah, Chad. I mean, we'll do what we can. Can't win every game, but we'll try. One a day keeps a doctor away a lot of the time. So, yeah, again, it's not a premium pick. It's not my premium pick, but it's right there. If you want my picks, you can find them at rightwager.com. Thank you, Dylan. You're very nice. Thank you. You're kind. Thank you, Kyle. Very nice comment, though, Dylan. That's very nice of you. I'm not that amazing. Many people actually don't think I'm amazing at all, but I think I'm amazing. So I thank you for that. You're very kind. All right, guys. We will look to wrap it up. Went through a lot of games, gave you my opinion on a lot of these. We will kind of hope that a couple of these come through. We have Lehigh minus the 4.5 free play against Lafayette Leopards. Thank you, Artez. Appreciate it. Ole Miss, yeah, they should keep it close. Need a bounce back for Kermit's team. I think they have Mississippi State on deck, though. I think. Thank you, Gil. Appreciate that. We started at 4:30. That's when we start. You just saw the Gotti movie with Travolta. He's terrible. It's a terrible movie. Terrible movie. I hated it. It was a disgrace to mobsters. It was a disgrace to John Gotti. Just a disgusting movie. Terrible. Thank you, Dan Kelly. Yes, I'm sure people enjoyed that. Thank you. Thanks, Nick. What's it matter if I tweet out picks, Big Win? I just went over like 20 games in a half an hour. Yes, we changed the time. You can always go back and listen, Scott. Thank you, David. Check me out tonight, guys, 9:00. And if you guys are interested, all the odds board that I use is SBR odds. They have 30 books on there, so make sure you're using that. I will be on SBR tonight at 9:00 off the board. We'll be doing live betting, and I'm going to bring up something that really pissed me off that I saw last night that I don't understand about the current landscape of human being life. I want you to all talk, and I want you to all join me for that tonight at 9:00 on Off the Board. It's at 9:00. We'll talk live betting. We'll talk NBA. We'll talk college. We'll talk all sorts of stuff. Make sure you join me 9:00 on Off the Board. You'll have a great night. Thanks for joining me. I am the big man on campus. Let's go, Lehigh.